All right, Shalom, Shalom. My name is Yadon Yasharam with Savior Word of Yah, Tabernacles of the Congregation of Yisrael. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Welcome to our weekly Bible study. A lot of stuff going on, especially over there in the Middle East, what they call the Middle East, with the state of Israel, Palestine, and a lot of money being given out. A lot is going on right now, and at the same time, the position of power is trying to get a foothold into censoring anybody's opinion about what's going on. They've came up with all kind of terms. These things have already been put in place to quell any type of speaking up against the power structure. So it's almost turning into less of a free country and more into a totalitarian state. The way things are going now, they have things in place to appear like we have freedom, but truly we don't. So we're going to tackle that today. The title of our Bible study today is Semitic People and Anti-Semitism. So the title is Semitic People and Anti-Semitism. And what we're seeing is this term anti-Semitism. And I'm going to do my very best to try to do this class. And Yah's will, we will be able to complete this class, because even just trying to get this class together, to prepare for the class, I mean, the text is just overwhelming. But this is what we do. We got to get into it. We got to discuss these things. We're not slandering anybody. We're just going to go straight into the facts, look at what the Bible says, and look at the definitions, these terms that they're giving us, that they're using to define things. So we're going to take a look at that, and get a better understanding. Some of the current events that are going on right now, like we said, Iran supposedly attacked Israel, and Israel sent missiles back to the same city where their nuclear facility is. All of this is going down while the Jewish people and many of our people as well are keeping Passover. So interesting, a lot going on during this whole set of holy days. Obviously, the children of Israel were kind of all over with Passover, but the Jewish people, they got it down. They know they using a certain way of doing it, that they have it on a specific day, and all of this is going on while that is happening. So if you are observing your Pesach, many of the brothers and sisters that are keeping the new moon, that would have placed yesterday as the 14th, and that would make today as the 15th. So tonight actually would be, for those that have tonight starting the 15th, would be your Pesach. That's when you would actually keep the feast. Around now, as the sun is going down, is when the lamb would have been killed, and it would have been roasted by fire and ate at night. And it had to be completed before the morning comes. So before this morning that's come, it would have been completed. So I know some people are keeping the Passover on the beginning of the 14th day, and then having a completely different feast on the 15th day of unleavened bread. And that is not biblical. That's not what's in the Hebrew. That's not in Jubilees. That's not in YAH. That's not even in Torah. But that was a previous understanding that we had. But that shouldn't be division, because at the end of the day, we're practicing the righteous acts, which means we're rehearsing all the good things that Yah has done for us. That's what practicing the righteous acts means. Rehearsing all that Yah has done for us and proclaiming it and glorifying it in the original truth music. So today we're going to get into some definitions. We're going to look at a few definitions. But before we do that, I want to talk about something that they're doing. Again, we talked a little bit about it, about how they're censoring. So I want to pull something up that we talked about in Bible study. Let me go ahead and share the screen. Right. There it is. All right, so let me do a new share so we can take a look at this article. All right, here we go. Okay, so this is in the Times of Israel. So this happened last week. A U.S. House resolution is condemning the chant that some of the protesters were saying. And the chant goes, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." So they did a motion to define the pro-Palestinian slogan as anti-Semitic. And it passed. It passed in a vote of 377 to 44. So they actually passed that. So they're trying to make a law. And if we look at what Trump did, it's going to make a lot of sense why they're pushing so hard to get a slogan that's saying, "From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free." So they're from the Nile River to the Red Sea, I guess. They're trying to say Palestine will be free. So that's a portion of land. They ain't talking about all the state of Israel. That's not in that saying. But again, they don't want any opposition. So anything speaking against the powers that be that control things, they're using their influence to try to make this illegal. So I'm going to show you why this is so important, why they push so hard to make this anti-Semitic. All right, so the same president that's in trial right now, the ex-president Trump, he passed something when he was in office. So we're going to pull that up. Let me do a new share on that. And let's take a look at that. And we're going to see why. This is why they're so pressed on making everything anti-Semitic. So this is December 11th, 2019. So this is right after the 400 years that we had, the 400-year marker here in America. The president said, "My administration is committed to combating the rise of anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic incidents in the United States and around the world. Anti-Semitic incidents have increased since 2013, and students in particular continue to face anti-Semitic harassment in schools and universities and college campuses." So they're making this under the Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964, discrimination on the basis of race, color, national origin in programs, activities receiving federal financial assistance. So this Title VI does not cover discrimination based on religion. Individuals who face discrimination on the basis of race, color, or national origin do not lose protection under Title VI for also being a member of a group that shares common religious practices. So discrimination against any Jews may give rise to Title VI violation when the discrimination is based on an individual's race, color, or national origin. So they're making it this religion, they're turning it now into an actual nationality, so that they can take away money from schools. They can enact hate crimes. They can do all kinds of things if you say anything that's against the Jewish population. Now, funny thing is, there's all kind of discrimination going again. Look how they treated President Obama, and just because he's of a melanated skin, where's all the laws for that? Right? No, they didn't do all those laws. So that term of anti-Semitic is very, very broad. It's a very, very broad statement. So we need to understand what that is, because if you just use the etymology of the words, it doesn't add up. It doesn't make any sense. So you have to understand their actual terms and what they're trying to say. All right, so let's go ahead and look at their definition. So I'm going to go ahead and share that screen. So we need to understand first, what is a Semitic to be considered against a Semitic or anti-Semitic, just like Christ. Antichrist is against Christ, against the word of YAH. So let's look at that definition. Let's go ahead and pull that up. All right, so let me get this on the screen. All right, we're just going to take a basic Oxford dictionary description. Let's get a new share here. All right, there we go. All right. So here we have the Oxford Dictionary definition of Semetic. Semetic, Semitic. All right. And this is what the brother Kyrie Irving was talking about. You know, when he was saying, how can I be anti-Semitic when I'm a Semite? So this is what he was talking about here. He said, I read the Oxford Dictionary. I know these definitions. So this is what he was talking about, the Oxford definition. All right. So Semitic, that's relating to or denoting a family of languages. Notice the family of languages that include Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic. Now, Aramaic is what was spoke at the time of Mashiach. All right. And after that came Arabic. And then after that, later came what we call modern Hebrew. Before it was called modern Hebrew, there was different names. It was actual Israelite names for these languages. So we're not going to really go that deep into that, but just know that those are the families or languages that are associated with being Semitic. Hebrew, those that are of Eber, the seed of Eber. Arabic, you know, which in Arab in Hebrew means mix. So those are the mixing of the people in that region of African and Asia, which you get Afro-Asiatic. So that's makes up the Arabic people. And Aramaic is just Syria. Aram is Syria. So the Syrian tongue. And it says certain languages such as Phoenician and Akkadian, consulting the main subgroup of Afro-Asiatic family. So if you're not African and have Asian, if you don't have at least African or Asian, you can't be Semitic, because Afro-Asiatic is that there is that middle portion, the middle of the earth is what they're talking about. That's what would be considered Afro-Asiatic, right? So we are considered Afro-Asiatic. We're not African per se, even though we're on the African continent. And we're not Asian per se, because even though we share parts of that continent, we're Afro-Asiatic. All right. No, this is relating to the peoples who speak Semitic languages, especially Hebrew and Arabic. So that is the definition of Semitic. So naturally, you would think in English, just knowing the definitions of English, that anti-Semitic would be, I guess, against the languages that Hebrew, Arabic, and Aramaic, or the Afro-Asiatic families. We would assume that that's what that means. But unfortunately, there's play on words. So now we're going to look at anti-Semitism and anti-Semitic. So let me share that, because we got to know, because if you're speaking thinking like, oh, you know, I'm not anti-Semitic because, you know, I'm a Semite, and no, you can still be anti-Semitic and be a Semite. Speak all these languages, speak nothing but your writings in your book, and still be considered anti-Semitic. You could even say, I'm a Jew and I believe in Judaism, or I believe in the Bible, I believe in Torah, whatever, and still be considered anti-Semitic. Now, the only person that cannot be considered anti-Semitic are people that are not Semites. All right, so that's kind of weird. So we're going to look that up and we're going to see that. So here we have the definition in Wikipedia of anti-Semitism. All right. Anti-Semitism, also spelled anti-Semitism or anti-Semitism, is hospitality to prejudice. So they say, oh, excuse me, hostility to. So if you're hostile towards, prejudice towards, or discrimination against Jews. So technically, if you get in an altercation with a Jewish person, you could be hit with anti-Semitism. Now, they wrote the term Jews here, all right? And the sentiment is a form of racism. So they're calling that racism because they're saying Jews, which is from Judaism, which is a converted religion, they're considering that a race. Really, what race is that? If the other people of your race come from different places in Europe that you identify with, how is that? What race is that? So wouldn't you be considered racist against white people as well? Or is it just white people different from Jewish people? It doesn't add up. At least in biblical sense, it doesn't add up. So funny thing, we're going to take a look at another definition here. Let me pull that up. We're going to look at the definition of Israelite. All right. So if we look at the definition of Israelite, all right, it says a member of the ancient Hebrew nation. Okay. So their case closed right there. This is why they won't identify as Israelite, because you have to be a member of the ancient Hebrew nation, especially in the period from Exodus to the Babylonian captivity. Interesting. All right. Then it says offensive. Interesting. A Jewish person. And it says offensive dated, relating to the Israelites. All right. So what's interesting is they just changed that definition, because what they had, and I'm going to show you what they had on the other definition. I'm going to show you right here on my Word document, if I can pull it up. They just put a footnote there and changed it and said offensive. So they actually edited it from the time that I looked this up a while back. So let me go ahead and share this so you can see this, what was originally there. All right, so this is my class outline. This is what was originally the definition of Israelite. All right, so, and if anybody ever wonder how I do my classes, this is how it is right here. I have my classes outlined, and it's bullet pointed. So anyways, here we go. Israelite. All right. Israelite here, a member of the ancient Hebrew nation, especially in the period from Exodus to the Babylonian captivity, 12th to 6th century BC. An old-fashioned and sometimes offensive term for a Jewish person. So how is that offensive to a Jewish person? Well, when you start mentioning ancient Hebrew nation, now you can see how that's offensive. So they literally, as you can see, let me share that other screen. I did not even know they did that. They changed it just that quick. So let me pull that back up. Wow. They on the move. They're changing history. They're changing definitions. They're rewriting history, literally, right in front of us. All right, so I'm gonna pull back up the screen so we can look at it for the definition that we had. So here we had it. So notice right here, they have a little caution sign, offensive, dated. Then it says high definition, Jewish person. Why would you hide a Jewish person for Israelite? And they put offensive because it's offensive to them. Why would this be offensive? All right, let's take a look at Khazar, the Khazarites. We're going to look at another definition. All right, so we're going to pull that up again. Let's do a new share. Khazars. The Khazars were a nomadic Turkic people that in the late 6th century CE established a major commercial empire covering the southeastern section of modern Europe. This is modern now. Europe, Russia, southern Ukraine. Oh, interesting. Ain't that the people they giving money to? $95 billion? So you ain't got money for roads, you ain't got money for unemployment, you ain't got money to pay your debt, but you got $95 million to pay these people that in that region were called Khazars. Interesting. Crimea. Oh, that same place they fighting over with Russia? Kazakhstan, right? These were the Khazarians, and they converted, if they scroll down, to history, to their religion. They converted to Judaism. Let's see, it was in this article before where it talked about their conversion. Let's see, let me take a look real quick. There you go. It said Tengrism, Christianity. There it is. Conversion to Judaism is mentioned in the Khazar correspondence and medieval external sources. The authenticity of the former was long doubted and challenged, but the documents are now widely accepted by specialists as either authentic or as reflecting internal Khazar traditions. Archaeological evidence for conversion, on the other hand, remains elusive. Yeah, of course. So they don't have no archaeological evidence, but they got all these coins and all these things dated, but there's no archaeological evidence. Well, there is. There's plenty of books on it. But, the purpose of this class isn't really to debate bloodlines and, etymology, where people came from. It's really just to understand the playing field. All right. So that's what we're really doing. We're not here to really do a blood test on anybody. Of course, you can do that and you can go look this up, but that's not the purpose of this class. All right. So we saw the Ashkenazi Jews, we saw Israelite, we saw anti-Semitic, and now we looked at color. So now we're going to see why this is so offensive to Jews or Jewish people to be called an Israelite. All right. So let's go to Genesis chapter 10, Bereshit chapter 10. All right, so let me go ahead and share the screen. Here we go. So this is Genesis, Bereshit chapter 10. And this is the nations that descended from Noah. So according to our biblical account, 8 people restarted the entire world. The entire world was flooded and 8 people started over. And really, it's just the 3 sons because Noah didn't have any more children after that. It was Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So all the nations are descended from these bloodlines right here, and they were split into their own nations, and it's all listed here. Genesis, Bereshit chapter 10 and verse 1. Now these are the generations of the sons of Noah, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. And unto them were sons born after the flood. The sons of Japheth, Gomer, Magog, Madai, and Javan, and Tubal, Meshach, and Tyrus. And the sons of Gomer, so this is the line of Japheth, right here. The 3 sons are Shem, Ham, and Japheth. So Shem is the progenitor, or progenitor, I believe that's how it's said, or progenitor, or whatever, of Semites. You cannot be a Semite if you don't come from Shem, period. Ham and Japheth. And now Japheth is who we're going over right now. The Japhethites, right? So Japheth's son Gomer had another son named Ashkenaz. So you have Gomer, who had Ashkenaz, Riphath, and Togarmah. All right. So these Khazar people, are the same as the Ashkenaz. Remember, we looked at the Khazarians and we saw where they were located. Now you see where Ashkenaz is. So let's stop right there. Let's go look at the definition of Ashkenazi. The Ashkenazi Jews, they call themselves Ashkenazi Jews. They're not hiding their bloodline. They're telling you who you are. All right, so we see clearly Ashkenaz got nothing to do with Shem. Ashkenaz is Japheth, whole different bloodline. All right, so again, we're not focusing this whole class on bloodline, but we want to just understand who people are. All right, so let's go pull up the definition of the Ashkenazi. All right, so we're pulling that back up again. All right, here we have it. So let me go ahead and share the screen. And again, this is an open forum. So if anybody has any questions, comments, or anything, definitely chime in. That's right. Devil means deceiver. All right. And we have another great comment. Shalom, shalom, Brother Dre Day. Good to see you, family. YAH 10 and verse 1. Woe unto them that decree unrighteous decrees and that write grievousness which they have prescribed. Hallelujah. Right on time. And shalom, sis Stephanie Hicks and Brother Hicks. Good to see y'all, family. All right, so let's go ahead and share this definition here. And if you get kicked off this class, we're on Rumble. You can look us up, Israelite Gathering, on Rumble. We're also on YouTube, and we're also here on Facebook. So if you get kicked off in any of the platforms, you can hit one of these other platforms, because usually around this time, they start kicking us off when we start getting into these facts. All right, so here we have Ashkenazi Jews. All right, so that's kind of, doesn't really make sense if Jew comes from Judah, because Ashkenazi is not, Ashkenaz is not of Shem. All right, so it says, also known as Ashkenazic Jews or Ashkenazim, a Jewish diaspora population that emerged in the Holy Roman Empire around the end of the first millennium CE. So this is not even BC. This is first millennium. This is after Christ's death. All right. They traditionally spoke Yiddish. Let's see what Yiddish is. Yiddish is historically a West Germanic language historically spoken by Ashkenazi Jews. So how are you speaking German and not Hebrew? This is a dialect of Hebrew. This is what changed our language. All right. So we're not going to go too deep into that. Let's go back to Ashkenazi, right? And largely migrated towards Northern and Eastern Europe during the late Middle Ages due to persecution. Hebrew was primarily used as a literary and sacred language until its 20th century revival as a common language in Israel. So, of course, if they were trying to read our writings, then they would have to read a little bit of Hebrew. And then when they were rewriting in this new language that they were using, then it was changed a little bit. So again, we're not going to go too deep into that, but I just wanted to show that so that we understand who these people are. All right. So now we're going to get to where we are today. So let's go to Psalms 83. This is one we read often because it's very, very appropriate. All right, so we're going to go to the book of Psalms, Tehillim, chapter 83. And we're just going to read a few verses in here. All right, so we're going to Tehillim, Psalms, chapter 83, and verse 1. Keep not you silence, O Al. Hold not your peace, and be not still, O Alahayim. For lo, your enemies make a tumult, and they that hate you have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel. And see, when you see that word craft, that's like witchcraft and the masonry and Illuminati, all them little secret society, Boule, all them secret societies, right? The craft and counsel. So they're taking crafty counsel against Yah's people, the children of Israel, the biblical children of Israel, right? Your people, and consulted against your hidden ones. Who are the hidden ones? At what point was Ashkenazi hidden? Where you've been in your land? Even when they had you in the ghettos, you were in the ghettos in your own land. You weren't hidden. We knew where you were. They have said, come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Yasharal be no more in remembrance. Now, that name Yasharal, now I know you see here in King James, it says Israel, all right? That is Greek. That comes from Greek. If you go back to the transliteration, it was Israel before that. And these don't match up to the letters of Yasharal in ancient Hebrew. So they're cutting off the ancient name, and they cut off the people from association to the ancient name and the modern name. So this has been going on for a long time. So now you can see why it's offensive to call a Jewish person an Israelite, because now it's like, are you making fun of me? Or are you saying that you believe that I'm from the ancient people? But that would mean I'd have to turn my back on my people in Germany and Russia and Poland. So it causes uncomfortableness. So they'd rather just remove the whole name, period. That's where they came up with Jew and Jewish and all that other stuff. Because that Jews term, we were never that. We were Yahudi or Yahawada for the tribe. But then when they created Judea with Herod and all that, now if you lived in that region, you were called Jew or Jewish. All right. So they said, cut them off, that Israel may no more be in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against you. The tabernacles of Edom and the Ishmaelites. So Edom, if you look who Edom is, that's Esau. Esau mixed with Ishmael, and he mixed with Kittim, which is Greece. That's how they got their line to spread about. And they changed it where the bloodline is determined by the woman. That way you can marry one of our women, and now you God's chosen people. That was never so. That's why this entire Bible can be considered anti-Semitic, if you use the modern definition of anti-Semitism, because it speaks against their doctrine. So what, you're going to ban the whole Bible? No, what they did was rewrite it. And they have a whole new one that you just got to be told it. It wasn't written, it was just told. In the Talmud, it was just told. Right? All right, so this is what's going on to this very day. This is why they had the Tuskegee experiment, why they had all the things that America has acknowledged that they've done against the children of Israel here in this country, why we're considered a color. We weren't considered any of those nations they took us from, because A, that would bring us closer to where we really came from, and B, they'd have to start paying some of these nations. And none of them nations want to claim us as them either, because they would have to acknowledge that they sold their own people. They won't do that. So these are all the reasons why everybody, all these nations are consulted together, can't say nothing. Palestine can't really say nothing against Israel. Israel can't say nothing against Palestine, because both of them weren't the children of Israel. But at least Palestine is not saying they the children of Israel. They're just saying we've been here a long time. The state of Israel, the Ashkenazis, coming there saying that they literally the ancient Israelites. but without saying that they're the ancient Israelites. They're just saying, assume that, but we're not going to say it. So this has been a problem. And it's not just with the Ashkenaz. This is all the nations have been trying to cut us off from the beginning. So let's go to Exodus, Shemot, chapter 1. We're going to go way back to Shemot, Exodus, the second book of Torah, and we're going to see how long they've been trying to kill us off as a people. They trying to kill us off as a people before we even really become a nation. Exodus, Shemot, chapter 1, and we're going to read verses 8 through 22. Again, I appreciate all y'all hanging in onto the class and logging in. I know I don't even I can just look at the numbers and see how the numbers is up and all of a sudden it just drop, boom, 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 boom. Usually when that happens, it's because they cutting off our stream. So if you're having problems, try to log back in. The class will be up. YAH's will. If they don't take it down, we're going to have it on one of the platforms. But we not speaking racism against nobody. We're not speaking bad against Jewish or Jews or anything like that, because we are from Israel. We're the children of Israel. So why would we speak against Israel? We wouldn't do. That's our land. So we're not racist or speaking against anybody. But what we're not is fools. We can read. This was given to us. So we understand this book. We can read it, and furthermore, it's in English. They're reading the same thing. All right, so we're in Exodus chapter 1, and we're going to see that this is a worldwide ploy to kill off the children of Israel. This has been going on. Verse 8. Now, this is a group of melanin people. These are Egyptians. These are Africans, Hamites from the seed of Ham. And these people trying to kill us. So this ain't no racism thing. These people are so-called the same race as us, as the children of Israel. So much alike that they confused us for each other. Where you can take an Israelite baby, and as long as you cover him up where you can't see him being circumcised, the baby would look just like an Egyptian baby. You wouldn't know the difference. Now, you take a European baby or a Chinese baby, and you put them next to a melanated baby, you're not going to confuse that. So this is not a race thing. This is a nationality thing. This is a good versus evil thing. And anybody who wants to kill off a whole race of people is evil. And there ain't no Israelites talking about killing off a whole race of people. So you can't call us racist or anti-Semites, because all we doing is speaking the Bible. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 8. Now there arose up a new king over Mizraim, which knew not Yosef. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Yasharal are more and mightier than we, because that's what happens. If you don't oppress us, we will elevate. We have the blessing of Yah. God blesses those who bless the children of Israel, the ancient Israelites. And God curses those who curse the ancient Israelites. And it's sad I got to say ancient, because I got to say the ones in the Bible. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 10. Come on. Let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when they fall out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out the land. So why would we, if we live amongst you, fight against you? That's like saying in the Civil War, why would the blacks fight against their own country? Could it be oppression? Could it be slavery? Could it be just ill treatment? That's like saying, look, I got 3 roommates, but I got to get them out of here, because if somebody breaks in my house, they're going to help the robbers. Why would you think that? The only reason you would think that is either A, these people are extremely wicked that live in your house, or B, you have mistreated them. So which one are you saying? Are you saying that children of Israel because they're more and mightier than you, that's wicked? That's dangerous? Because you're not saying, hey, behold, the people of the children of Israel are very wicked. They're doing a lot of bad stuff. They're killing, robbing, stealing, raping, pillaging. They ain't saying that. They say they're more and mightier than we. All right. More is already a problem because they know we are mightier than you, not in the flesh, but because of YAH. Verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass when there fall out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us. And so get them about the land. Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. This is the same process that they use now. They have these laws and they have these jobs and they have these system in place with their felony checks and fingerprinting black people for everything, and we can punish 7 times for what we do, which is biblical, but it's still reality. These things are put in place, just like the overseer. This was even in the church. They had an overseer in church, in the first black churches. So they're not going to come outright and just try to kill you. They're too much of cowards. They know our power and they fear the Most High. They don't honor him, but they have fear of him to some extent. So the rest of verse 11, and they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses. And what they like to say is they try to say that, Israel didn't exist and this, that, and the other, because of these names of these cities and all this. Look, that's the name that the city's being referred to at the time of these writings. That don't necessarily mean that was the name back then. Verse 12. But the more they afflicted them, the ancient Israelites, the more they multiplied and grew. Ain't that what's happening here? Despite slavery, despite Jim Crow, despite all the stuff we go 2024 where we still getting shot down in the streets, we still multiplying. We still having the highest rate of births amongst any other nation of people. Go look at what's going on in Europe, where the Ashkenaz come from, where the Khazarians come from, where they tell you they came from, where it's defined that they come from. Their birth rates can't keep up. They can't have kids. So the more they afflicted us, the more we went home and we loved on our wives, and the more the Most High blessed us with children. Verse 13. And the Egyptians made the children of Yasharal to serve with rigor and made their lives bitter with hard bondage in mortar and in brick and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor. And the king of Mizraim spake to the Hebrew midwives, of which the name of the one was Shiphrah, and the name of the other Puah. And he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women, and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. So let's examine that right there. Interesting. So if you want to kill off the children of Israel, why are you not killing the baby makers? I'm yet to see a Hebrew man shoot out a baby out of his penis. It don't happen. So why are they killing the men when the women had the babies? What do they know that the Jewish people don't understand? The father determines the seed. So if you want to cut the seed, you got to get rid of the seed. Not the egg. Because whatever you put in there, it's going to become that. Whatever you plant in soil, it's going to be whatever that seed is. I don't care if you plant it at my house or across the street. If you plant an apple tree is going to grow. An orange tree ain't going to grow across the street just because it's across the street. It's whatever the seed is. So this is why they are constantly trying to kill the men, because they can still have the beauty of Israelites, without the bloodline, because our women can produce any color, any shade. So they want that. They want all, before they had all the plastic surgery and the BBLs and all that and the lip injections. They wanted that to get it through the women so that they could have women like that. Verse 17. Or let's read 16 again. And when you shall do the office of midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon stools, if it be a son, then you shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. But the midwives feared YAH and did not as the king of Mizraim commanded them, but saved the men, children alive. So these midwives feared YAH. They feared YAH more than they feared for their own lives. Hallelujah. So praise YAH for all those Hebrew midwives and all the midwives to this day, because the midwives today, the doulas, are going through the same persecution right now. They putting these women in jail, put them in jail for having these live births, for not giving them up for their Social Security and all. I mean, it's ridiculous how they coming at these women. So support these doulas, support these natural home births. And Yah's will, when my wife and I, when we have our son, Yah's will, we want to have a doula. We want to have a natural birth. Verse 19. Or excuse 18. And the king of Mizraim called for the midwives and said unto them, why have you done this thing and have saved the men children alive? Why are you let these male Hebrews live? And look who he going to. He going to the female Hebrews to kill the male Hebrews, not the mothers, but the other Israelite women. So this is a practice of the heathen to use our women to kill the men. The mother will not do it. A Hebrew mother will not do it. But if we can find another woman who maybe I can threaten her house, threaten her children, threaten her family, or whatever the case be, or incent her with a lot of money, or whatever the case, that's always been their plan. But our people refuse to do it. That's why we're still here. Because our women are not like the other nations. They're lively women. Verse 19, and the midwife said unto Pharaoh, because the Hebrew women are not as the Mizraite women, for they are lively. So of course they are lively. If they're bringing in the warriors in this earth, they're going to be lively. They're not going to be this docile, quiet creature. They're going to be lively women, because if they not, we wouldn't be here. And it says, and are delivered airy before the midwives come in unto them. So they're delivering these babies on their own before the midwives could even come to them. Their water is breaking, they hiding, and they delivering them babies in private so they could save us, so we could be a nation. So hallelujah, and praise y'all to all the families, all the mothers, all the midwives, all our ancestors that risked death to bring us here. And that's why we can't be having no abortions. Our women died fighting to keep us here. So we can't do this, especially now that we know who we are. Verse 20. Therefore, Elohim dwelt well with the midwives, and the people multiplied and waxed very mighty. So we grew even bigger and stronger and became more of a problem, just like we doing right now. They can't kill us off because the Most High is with us. No weapon formed. If you can see me right now, I'm putting up my big two flexes right now. I'm putting up the two muscle signs. You can't kill us. Why? Not because we some strong people, because Yah is with us. No weapon formed against us will prosper. There's going to be casualties, but no weapon will prosper. Not a hair on your head going to be touched if you're a true believer. And it came to pass because the midwives feared Yah, that he made them houses. And Pharaoh changed all his people, saying, every son that is born, you shall cast in a river, and every daughter you shall save alive. So there you have it. This is not new. They've been doing this, killing us off. They've been putting Planned Parenthood and all these eugenics. That's a new word. This been going on. This ain't nothing new. So you can see why they don't want us to speak up for ourselves. They consider us anti-Semitic because we saying, wait a minute, we know who we are. We're the children of Israel. And look at Kanye. Kanye didn't even say, he wasn't even bold enough to come out and say, y'all fake. He came out and just said, listen, I ain't saying y'all nothing. I'm just telling you, I know who I am. They shut him down. Just like they probably going to try to shut this class down. But praise Yah. It is what it is. Truth gonna be told. It said, hurt not the earth until my servants are sealed. So this word got to be published across the four corners of the earth before he do his business. So we publishing it. Praise Yah. All right, so let's move on. So that's one of the first occasions where they try to kill us off as a nation, as a whole nation. Not, hey, look, I don't like that family over there. Kill that whole family. You want to cut off the whole nation. This is nothing new. Again, this got nothing to do with race. These black on black violence right here. Egyptians. All right, let's go to Matthew chapter 2. Now, these group of people that are trying to kill us off now, they are enemies. Egyptians ain't necessarily our enemies. They might have been at a portion of time, but you know, they ain't no Egyptians out here trying to mess with us or kill us in this day. I've been yet to see Egyptian kill nobody to this day. So they're not the problem. They ain't killing us. The Egyptian police ain't killing us out here. Matthew chapter 2. And we're going to read verses 1 through 18. All right, so praise Yah. You know, while we are, many of us are celebrating this Pesach season, let's not forget that Mashiach was our Passover. Death passed over him because they've been trying to kill him. What we about to read right now, they killed off a bunch of children just trying to kill him. But he survived. Death passed over him so that he could be preserved as a vessel to receive the word of Yah in its entirety and become the firstborn of Yah, the only begotten of Yah in the flesh, and become our Passover. All right, so Matthew chapter 2, we're going to read 1 through 18. And shalom to my big bro, Yafi, Yahawada, Yehuda. Good to see you, family. Verse 1. Now when Yahushua was born in Bethlehem of Judea in the days of Herod the king, and first of all, how is Herod the king? Herod is an Edomite. How are you going to be the king of Israel and you're not even an Israelite? This is the same thing that's going on right now in the place they call the state of Israel. They got somebody leading the state of Israel that's not an Israelite. The only way this can happen is one way. Occupied. When you occupied, when you at war, and you prisoners of war, you're captives, they not going to put a king of your people up there. They're going to put one of their people to read. All right. Behold, there came wise men from the east to Jerusalem. And notice it just says wise men. There ain't no 3 wise men and all that. Man, that's that foolishness. They always trying to add other doctrine to mix it in there. All right. So just wise men. It could have been 5. We don't know. Could have been 2. Matthew chapter 2 and verse 2, saying, where is he that is born king of the Yahudim? For we have seen his star in the east and are come to worship him. So they knew the prophecy. So how many people knew the prophecies of Yah? Israelites. But yet they show you, a Chinese man in the cartoon, an Indian man and a white man and a black man. And whatever, and they mix them all up, make it look cute. How many of these people would have known ancient scripture? How many of these people would have spoke and written Hebrew, ancient Hebrew, to know these ancient scriptures? So stop it. These is Israelites. Wasn't no other group of people. Now, they might have been all over the place because we've been all over the place. We've been spread since the Syrian captivity. So if he's coming from the east, interesting. Wouldn't that be where Assyria is? All right, so Matthew chapter 2 and verse 3. When Herod the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Mashiach should be born. So this is clue. When Herod the king heard that the king of the Yahudim was being born, it troubled him, Herod, Edomite, and all Jerusalem with him. Why would all Jerusalem be troubled? Could it be that those people there were not Israelites? The same people that were Sanhedrin, the same people who rewrote the Bible and changed things with so-called Masoretic script and all that. Could it be those people and their predecessors that did that? The same people that said our father's Abraham. We've never been in bondage. That sure sound like some people that's not Israel. Because why would Israel, who's being occupied, who's looking for a Messiah to return Israel back to Israelites, why would they be troubled? Verse 4. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Mashiach should be born. And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea, for thus it is written by the prophet. And you, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, are not the least among the princes of Yehuda, for out of you shall come a governor that shall rule my people. So now they're talking about the prophecies in what is that? Micah chapter 5. All right. Then Herod, whom he had privily called the wise men, inquired of them diligently what time the star appeared. And he sent them to Bethlehem and said, go and search diligently for the young child. And when you have found him, bring me word again that I may come and worship him also. Yeah, right. They think that the snake think he's so slick. If I see a snake slithering, I don't care that he's going left and right. If he getting closer to me, he coming to bite me. He ain't coming to say hi and worship me. So these snakes think that the children of Israel and those with the spirit don't see how you move. You move left and right, left and right, left and right. You won't stay a course. You won't pick a side. Double-mindedness. It easily identifies what your motives are. So the children of Israel ain't stupid. We know you the way you treating us, you ain't trying to worship this man. Verse 9. When they had heard the king, they departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them till it came and stood over where the young child was. When they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And when they were come into the house, they saw the young child with Miriam, his mother, and fell down and worshipped him. And when they had opened their treasures, they presented unto him gifts, gold and frankincense and myrrh. So this is not a birthday party. When you show up before a king, you do not show up empty-handed. That's why when we have our 3 appearances before YAH, it says no man must appear empty. You must offer something. You got to offer according to what you give because you coming before the King of Kings. So that's why they came. They didn't say, hey, let's have a birthday party. And being warned of YAH in a dream that they should not return to Herod, they departed to their own country another way. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of Yahweh appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, arise and take the young child and his mother and flee into Mizraim, and be you there until I bring you word. For Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. And notice how the angel is talking to him. The young child, the young child. Take that young child and the mother and his mother, because this is not Joseph's child. He's going to be, lack of a better word, stepfather to this child. Yah is his father, and his biological father is King David. It's from the seed of David. So all of this is consistent. So we in 2024 can do immaculate conception. We can go pay a couple dollars and, freeze some eggs and take some sperm, and we can do that, and that's fine, right? But Most High, he can't do that. Nah, never. He can make people from dust of the ground, but he can't do immaculate conception. Right. You just showing where your beliefs are. You don't believe this word. You believe what you believe. I believe this word as it was written in the original language. Verse 14. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Mizraim, and was there until the death of Herod, that it might be fulfilled, which spoken of Yahweh by the prophet, saying, "Oh, out of Mizraim have I called my son." Praise Yah. And Brother Yafi said that's a clue right there, that there were Israel as well. Yah wouldn't speak to any evil person. Absolutely. You're not going to talk to no wicked people. Y'all not giving prophecies to wicked people. Now, he has talked to other people of other nations like Balak and Balaam in that situation of Midian. He talked to them. He talked to Hagar, the Egyptian. Talked to her, say, hey, go back. Take that child back. He'll talk to other people. But he's not going to prophesy and give you all these prophecies concerning the children of Israel and us and leave it to another nation to preserve that for us. Nah, it ain't going to work like that. So that's a good comment, brother. Absolutely. All right, so let's move on. So you see there, they have been trying to kill us off for the longest. Let's go to Psalms chapter 10. Tehillim chapter 10. All right, so Psalms chapter 10, and we're going to start that at verse 1. All right, so keep in mind all this stuff that they wish, all this, in Jamaica say bad mind, all this bad mind they do for us, and all this wishing evil against us and trying to kill us off and all this wicked stuff. Oh yeah, you best believe the same thing that you want to happen to us is the same thing that's going to happen to you. Psalms chapter 10. And we're going to start this at verse 1. What stands you afar off, O Yahweh? Why stand you so far off? Why hide you yourself in times of trouble? Well, maybe because we cause him to not look at us so he don't have to kill us off as a people. Verse 2, the wicked in his pride does persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. So what they imagine for us, that's coming back to them. They are going to have to deal with that. For the wicked boasted of his heart's desire and blessed the covetous whom Yah abhors. So this is what the wicked does when he's in power. He's blessing the covetous. And who's being blessed right now? The people that are covetous, which means they have an evil desire for something that doesn't belong to them. They're covetous of our image, of our nationality, of our faith system. All of that. They're jealous of that, envious of that. And they're rewarding all of those that are also covetous with that. And Yah hates that. So anybody else that wants to covet right along with them, wants to steal it, wants to agree with it, we're going to reward you. That's why you see all these politicians so quick to jump in there and say, oh, help Israel against Palestine. Palestine, a bunch of poor people, Arabs from the land. And if you Arab, how are you going to be anti-Semitic? You literally Arab. You Afro-Asiatic. They literally from that area. But they consider anti-Semitic. This is the same thing they try to say against the Nation of Islam. I'm talking about they anti-Semitic. And Malcolm X like, how can I be anti-Semitic? I'm a Shemite. Because he knew he was Israel. Why would he say he can't be anti-Israel, can't be anti-Semitic because he's a Shemite? He didn't speak Arabic like that. He spoke because he knew who he was. If he thought he was African, he would have said, I'm a Hamite. Where do you think he learned that? He's in jail. That's where a lot of people learn who they are, in jail, where you got to sit down. Verse 4, the wicked, through the pride of his countenance, will not seek after Yah. Yah is not in all his thoughts. So this is why people want to remove the Bible. They want to remove prayer. They don't even want you to speak about the Bible. They want to argue about whatever they want to argue about. Remove Yah out of the equation. Because the wicked, the pride of they will not seek Yah. They will not seek, what does Yah tell me I need to do? Verse 5, his ways are always grievous. Your judgments are far above out of his sight. As for all his enemies, puff at them. He has said in his heart, I shall not be moved, for I shall never be in adversity. So he think, because he make all these hard, rough laws, black people, we can't, they used to have laws, which they still use to this day, where we can't even congregate in more than a group of people. It's considered a gang. Mob activity. They're ready to call the paddy wagon out for you. These grievous laws. You can get help if you poor, but that black man got to get up out that house. They first was killing, Planned Parenthood. Now it's a welfare and food stamps. That you can't even know who your baby daddy is. He got to go. Grievous. So you can't give this family a little bit of help so they can get on their feet, so they can move out of welfare and be a family together. No, that man got to go. Put him in jail. Verse 6. Verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity. So let's look at that so we can see what they're talking about here. Because we got a lot of people that come from that Christianity where they think cursing is, oh, you said a bad word. That's not what that means. All right. So if we look at cursing, H423, look at the word. Allah. Interesting. So you chose to name your God curse? Interesting. H423, ALAH, Allah. And that's an imprecation, curse, cursing, execration, oath, or swearing. All right. To adjure, that is imprecate, curse, or swear. So that's when you tell somebody, go to hell. I wish you would die. You are never going to make it. You are the absolute worst. You are cursing them. You are saying, basically putting a spell on somebody, wishing negativity on them. Not only are you judging, where it says you should not judge your neighbor, so you be not judged. You're judging them and adding a judgment and imprecating and putting a spell that this would happen to that person. That's what the wicked do. What do the righteous do? They pray for their enemies. Pray for the enemies doesn't mean, hey, this guy is wicked. Esau, he's so wicked. He's killing everybody. He's lying in the earth. He's just causing chaos everywhere he goes. I pray that he's, that everything works well with him and that things are great for him and his life is good. No, that's not how you pray for wicked people. How you pray for wicked people is that their eyes open up and they get the righteous judgment of the Most High. Give them what they deserve. Because maybe if you starts to chasten them, he chastens whom he loves, right? Maybe they'll repent. That's how you pray for your enemy. We ain't on some old Greek smile and wink Jesus. Where we going, nah, that's not what that means. Go read Psalms. You want to see how you pray for your enemies. All right. Verse 8. He sits in the lurking places of the villages. In the secret places does he murder the innocent. His eyes are privily set against the poor. And this is what they do. It's not even in secret places no more. They murdering us on TV. They shoot us down and all the CCTV cameras and everything caches. They don't care. It's not even in private no more. He crouches and humble himself. He lies in wait secretly as a lion in his den. He lies to catch the poor. He does catch the poor when he draws him into the nest. He crouches and humbleth himself, that the poor may fall by his strong ones. And that's what they did all to the homeless. They kicked them out every time they want to host an event, Olympics or whatever the case may be, a big concert, the Masters, all the stuff. They get rid of, they sweep all the stuff they consider undesirable under the rug. And that's what that whole movie, The Purge, was about. All the people they want to get rid of. They find ways to kill. And they make laws to kill. And the purge was literally just symbolic of that, making laws to kill your undesirables, which so-called happen to be a lot of black people. Verse 11, he has said in his heart, Yah has forgotten. He hides his face. He'll never see it. Arise, O Yahweh, O Elohim, lift up your hand. Forget not the humble. Why does the wicked contemn Yah? He has said in his heart, you will not require it. You have seen it, for you behold the mischief and spite to requite it with your hand. The poor commits himself unto you. You are the helper of the fatherless. Break you the arm of the wicked and the evil. Seek out his wickedness till you find none. Yahweh is king forever and ever. The heathen are perished out of his land. Yahweh, you has heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause their ear to hear. You see, this is prophecy. Yah is king forever. The heathen are perished out of the land. This is future tense. Because when we dwelled in there, he always left a portion of the heathen there just to be a thorn in our side. So he's prophesying. Yahweh, you has heard the desire of the humble. You will prepare their heart. You will cause your ear to hear, to judge the fatherless and oppressed, that the man of the earth may no more oppress. So praise Yah. So everything, all this stuff that they planned against us and all these things that they try to commit against us is all going to come back to them. All right. And when it does, this is for you, the heathen nations, the Gentile nations, and the believers of other nations. This is for you. When you find out that all that this Bible says is true, when you find out who the real children of Israel are, the ancient children of Israel, the biblical children of Israel, when you find out who they are, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? You're going to bow down to the King of Kings, or are you going to perish? Well, prophecy says they're going to be a whole lot of bowing down. So let's go read that for the conclusion. Let's go to Jeremiah chapter 16. Jeremiah chapter 16. I mean, just on a side note, man, I try to stay out of the politics and because I know Yah's in control of everything. He sets up the kings, he takes down kings. He kills, he makes live, and he does all these things. So I understand that. But when you see the level of murder that they're doing to these Palestinian people, these poor people, these ain't rich people that came in and said, oh, we're going to kick you out of your land. And these are people that came in when our houses was empty, when we was in captivity. True enough, many of those nations laughed. Many of those nations helped. And that's why there's judgment going on now and judgment that's coming in the future. But at the end of the day, I don't care who you are, whether it's the children that in the state of Israel that are getting killed, the innocent Gentile babies, or the other innocent Gentile babies in Palestine. Either way, I don't care what nation you are. That's not right. That's not good. We're not happy about that. So to stand by and try to side with a state of people that is these people throwing rocks at tanks. They sending off all kind of missiles, blowing up hospitals, doing all talking about, so you got one person in the army that's in the hospital. You gonna kill all the innocent people in the hospital because of that one army person? You violating every international law, and America ain't doing nothing about it. Matter of fact, they are doing something. They giving them millions to do it. Wickedness, knowing that they spend 97% of their foreign aid on military. And where you think that military is going? To their own neighbors. So we not the children of Israel. Most of us Israelites, we not standing with the state of Israel, in case you didn't know. We not standing with them against Palestine. Just as much as we not standing with Palestine. Because guess what? We try to come out there and stand for y'all and be like, look, man, we not with all the killing of innocent people. We ain't saying we with y'all, but we ain't with the killing of innocent people. And because they saw us as Israelites, the Hamas, which literally means violence, which might not even be Palestinians, we don't even know who those people are, started to attack us. So I'm not holding it against Palestine or the Palestinian people, because them people have masks on. I don't know who them people are. It could have been anybody. It could have been state of Israel, it could have been undercover ISS people. The Secret Service of Israel doing that, for all we know. We don't know that. But that's why we can't really come stay with y'all, because everybody want to kill us. All them people want to kill us. So we're at Jeremiah chapter 16. But it's not right. And it's not right that anybody who speaks up against them, they crushing them. They kicking these kids out of school, suspending them for protesting. These is kids that go to these high-priced schools that are trying to stand for something instead of sitting down for everything. And it's not right. Putting them in jail, giving them jail records, considering anti-Semetic, coming up with all kind of crap. It's not right. But this is the people, this showing you who really runs this country. Because what happens when we getting killed? They ain't doing nothing. There ain't no laws to help us. You can say whatever you want, all them I hate niggers and all that stuff. That stuff all over the internet. They don't care. They was talking that to Obama, and he not even an Israelite. It's not right. Just because they not of our people don't mean we not going to speak out against wickedness. Wickedness is wickedness. So we're at Jeremiah chapter 16 and for the conclusion, and we're going to start this at verse 1. The word of Yahweh came also unto me, saying, you shall not take you a wife, neither shall you have sons or daughters in this place. For thus says Yahweh concerning the sons and concerning the daughters that are born in this place, and concerning their mothers that bear them, and concerning their fathers that begot them in the land. They shall die of grievous deaths. They shall not be lamented, neither shall they be buried, but they shall be as dung upon the face of the earth, and they shall be consumed by the sword and by famine, and their carcasses shall be meat for the fowls of heaven and for the beasts of the earth. For thus says Yahweh, Enter not in the house of mourning, neither go to lament nor bemoan them. For I have taken away my peace from this people, says Yahweh, even loving kindness and mercies. So Yah took away our peace. We've had zero peace since this time. Nothing. And it says when we return into the land as a people, it's going to be peaceful. So if the people return to the land, where's the peace? And furthermore, how into the land without the king? Where's the king? Verse 6. But the great and the small shall die in this land. They shall not be buried, neither shall men lament for them, nor cut themselves, nor make themselves bald for them. And this is what the heathen did. This is what Yah was mad at. You cutting yourself. Just you see in the movies, the martial arts movies, and it's usually the Asians and Africans, when they lose a warrior or family member, they cut their hand or they cut themselves and they bleed. How is that honoring? You're destroying the temple. But this is the foolishness they didn't want us to do. Cutting off our head, balding our heads, all kind of weird stuff. Verse 7. Neither shall men tear themselves for them in the morning, to comfort them for the dead. Neither shall men give them the cup of consolation to drink for their father or for their mother. You shall not also go into the house of feasting to sit with them to eat and to drink. For thus says Yahweh of hosts, the Elohim of Yasharal, behold, I will cause to cease out of this place in your eyes and in your days the voice of mirth and the voice of gladness, the voice of the bridegroom and the voice of the bride. And it shall come to pass when you shall show this people all these words, and they shall say unto you, wherefore has Yahweh pronounced all this great evil against us? Or what is our iniquity? Or what is our sin that we have committed against Yahweh our Elohim? And this is the question right here. This is the question that every Black American, every children of the transcontinental slave trade in every place of your captivity has asked, what have we done? Why are we being treated like this? Does God hate us? This is what we asked. This is not new, because no other nation of people, not even another race or people of the same race of another nationality, has gone through what we have gone through continuously. Every nation of people has gone through some hardship, but we've gone through generation after generation after generation after captivity after captivity after captivity. This is the question we ask. And here's the answer right here in the book. Then you shall say unto them, because your fathers have forsaken me, says Yahweh, and have walked after other mighty ones, and have served them and worshiped them, which is bowing down to them, and have forsaken me and have not kept my law. That's why that happened to us. So that's why we're going through what we're going through right now. How do you repent from that? Stop walking after other mighty ones. And a mighty one, it does not have, and it's notice is lowercase G-O-D-S. That's talking about like a person, like a captain or leader or a pastor or whoever, a position of power. Walking after them instead of walking after Yah. Your government, your president, whoever, your boss, whoever pay your paycheck. That's what they're talking about. We walk after them because if the boss tell you, hey, look, you got to work on Saturday. Well, you ain't going to get paid. All right. Well, we in captivity, folks. Got to work on Saturday. No, you walking after another God. Because your God, whether it be money or whether your boss said you got to do it and you did it. True enough, we in captivity. All situations ain't the same. But in general, You are basically saying you're my God. Because Yah, the true living Elohim, said, no, don't do it. You saying, nah, Mr. White Man, you in control. And have served them and worship them. So serving these other nations, serving the military with their conquest to dominate other lands, all that type of stuff, worshiping them, forsaking Yah. That's the problem. When we go overboard to go against what Yah said for whatever organization is in charge or group. It don't even have to be the nation. It could be the Kappas, the Alphas, Boule, the Masons, whoever that got position of power, that got connections where you don't get a ticket. You get out of a ticket because you made a certain gesture around your forehead. You got out of a ticket. Man, get the crap out of here. You wouldn't give up your salvation to not pay a speeding ticket? For the end of the day, you still gonna get treated like a nigga, regardless. At Niger, Acts 13 and verse 1, for you censor me. Jeremiah 16 and verse 12, and you have done worse than your fathers. So your fathers was horrible, and is this not the same? Have we not done worse than our fathers now? Look how we dress. Look how we act. Look what we do. And have you not done worse than your fathers? For behold, you walk everyone after the imagination of his evil heart. So whatever your mind tell you to do, that's what you're going to do. You're going to use your mind to tell you why you ain't got to do what Yah said do. Yah said, keep my commandments. Your mind say, oh, this is 2024. That don't apply. Yeah, the pastor, the moray, the teacher, the priest, whoever reading it, he misinterpreting. Thou shalt not this, thou shalt this. You shall do this, you shall do this. Honor this person, honor. No. That's I know I can read it in English, I can read it in Greek, I can read it in Strong's, I can read it in anything, but no, my heart tell me otherwise. That's what I'm gonna do. And that's what we do to this day. We're not listening to him. We listen to ourselves so that we may not hearken unto Yah. But then we're going to blame a person because we ain't going to blame Yah. Because Yah stop you right where you speak. You wouldn't even finish your breath. So we're going to blame all the truth speakers, all the people that's going out there speaking for you so you can hear the truth. Verse 13. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither you nor your fathers. And there you shall serve other gods day and night, where I will not show you favor. So what land did we not know? What land was not in Genesis chapter 10? America. America was not there in the Bible. So there are portions of this land. There's even to this day, there's still portions of America we haven't even really got into, like in Alaska and Montana and all that. That hadn't even fully discovered. So we've been to the continent, we had shit, but we didn't majorly explore it like that. Our forefathers didn't know that land like that. Therefore will I cast you out of this land into a land that you know not, neither you nor your fathers, and there you shall serve other mighty ones day and night, where I would not show you favor. And that's what we went from having all the favor to no favor. That's why we are where we. That's why somebody can come here and just say, oh yeah, we're the children of Israel. Look at all we blessed we are. We got all the money. We got all the land. We control everything. Yeah, can't you see we the children of Israel? Isn't that what in Malcolm X, the movie, said, oh, Jesus is white. Can't you tell? But look around. We control everything with that pompous look on his face. Oh, wait a minute. There's more. Jeremiah 14 through 21. Also, it ain't over. The chapter ain't over. There's more. Verse 14. Therefore, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that it shall no more be said, Yahweh lives, that brought up the children of Yasharah out of the land of Mizraim. But Yahweh lives, that brought up the children of Yasharah from the land of the north, and from all the lands where we have driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto their fathers. Now, this is a clue, a land of the north. Why are they calling this the land of the north? They call it the land of the north because these are the places that we've been scattered to, and it's not a globe. It's a flat earth. So north is just like a compass. It's all moving to the center. Jeremiah 16 and verse 16, that's why a compass always heads north. Behold, I will send for many fishers. Oh, let me finish that. Verse 15. But Yahweh lives, that brought up the children of Yasharah from out of the land of the north, and from all the lands where he has driven them. And I will bring them again into their land that I gave unto the fathers. So Yahweh gonna bring us back. So you don't have to worry. Now you need to do what you need to do to prepare yourself to enter into the land. Act like you know where you're going. But don't be fearful that somehow you're going to get stuck. He's even giving the rebels an opportunity to get out. Now, I don't mean you can't get killed in America's judgment now. If somebody is getting whooped and you jump in there and try to catch the belt, you're going to catch a piece of that belt too. Verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, says Yahweh, and they shall fish them. And after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain and from every hill and out of the holes of the rocks. For my eyes are upon all their ways. They are not hid from my face, neither is their iniquity hid from my eyes. For my eyes are, and first I will recompense their iniquity and their sin double, because they have defiled my land. They have filled my inheritance with their carcasses of their detestable and abominable things. So judgment starts at the house of faith field first. So it starts with us. So we got the judgment first. O Yahweh, my strength and my fortress and my refuge in the day of my affliction. The Gentiles, don't get it twisted. Gentiles just means nations. When they refer to the nation of Yasharah, it literally uses the same word, the Goy of Yasharah, the nation of Yasharah. The nations is everybody else because Israel is set apart. That's why it's Israel and the nations. That's where Goyim comes from. Nations is Goyim. So the Goyim nations shall come unto you from the ends of the earth. So the same people that's claiming to be you, the same people that's taking crafty counsel to kill you, more specifically, the male yous, that's double entendre yous or Jews, the yous, the Gentiles shall come unto you from the ends of the earth and shall say, this is what they're going to say to you. Surely our fathers have inherited lies. So what lies did the Gentiles inherit? What lies did they inherit? That the earth is a globe? You think, they're going to come back and say, surely the Bible said the earth was flat, that it was a big circle, but, Yah has shown us now. Children of Israel, some of you that do believe in the flat earth, you're right. Our fathers have inherited lies. That ain't what they come in here to tell you. All these people believing that we just some slave group of people, some wicked, ignorant people that just God hates, that was cursed black according to the Mormons. They gonna find out that their God looks like that because their God is Christ. That's their God. Our God is Yah, and our brother is Christ. So when he finds out, he's going to say, our fathers have inherited lies. Vanity, meaning it ain't going to last, is temporary. And things wherein there's no profit, because the profit they made, moth and rust do destroy. But not the profit that's in heaven, that's eternal. Verse 20, shall a man make gods unto himself, and they know gods? Therefore, behold, I will this once cause them to know. I will cause them to know my hand and my might, and they shall know that my name is not the Lord, what you see right here, but Yahweh. Yah, hey, wah, hey, the 4 letters. Or Yad, hey, uah, hey, however you want to pronounce it, modern Hebrew or ancient. That's his name. And the character of that person is his word, Mashiach. That's why I said character was characterized in a man, Mashiach. So they are going to come to the realization. Many of them already are. And the first little step of that is the Black Lives Matter movement, where you have Gentiles out there really trying to stand up for Black lives. Now, some of them we know is into the homosexual agenda. We ain't talking about them. We talking about the innocent ones that are really in there thinking like, man, I'm trying to, my neighbor's Black. Why should I have to see him cry and be in fear because they killing his people? That's not right. I ain't like these racist people that are killing these Black people. And there's many other nations of people that are like that are good people that don't want nothing to do with that. But they were misinformed. They over here praying for a people, thinking they blessing the people that they're going to get blessed in return, but they getting cursed. Because you're supposed to bless the biblical children of Israel. So we don't have to worry about all these fake laws they making up and these new terms, anti-Semitism and the ALD, and I purposely said it wrong. All those names and all, you ain't got to worry about them. Because at the end of the day, Yah's word don't lie. You gonna come to me. Furthermore, you gonna be so humble, falling down to the feet of the Israelites because you scared for your life, because our judgment is up. It's time for your judgment. So if you don't believe the crap that they're teaching and you believe this Bible and you're of another nation and you happen to be listening to this class, speak up. Comment now. Comment on Facebook. Comment on Twitter. Comment on YouTube. Let the world know that you know who the real children of Israel are. And you're not racist. You're not against nobody. But you are not with the lies. There's too much DNA. There's too much documents. There's too much slave manifests. There's too many TV programs and TikToks and YouTubes. And we got 600-700 classes on here. 2 hours long for you to learn the truth. You can't sit on the sideline and say it's not my fight. Because if you don't stand up, you are saying, I stand for. And that's why I commend all those people standing up for those Palestinians, because ain't nobody standing up for them. If it wasn't for Jordan, them people would be dead. At least Jordan sending them some food in Egypt, because that's their people over there too. So we are at the time where you cannot sit back and just be quiet about wickedness. You got to stand up. You got to say something. Do you got to go be Malcolm X? No, you don't. Some are captains of tens, some are hundreds, some are thousands and tens of thousands. But you got to let people know where you stand. We are in a time in history where all of this is being documented. Y'all is looking at who's standing on the side, just like y'all looked at who stood up during the civil rights movement. So that's all we're going to do today. Before we close out, any last questions or comments or any current affairs, any prayer requests, anything we need to go through? Definitely go ahead and chime in. And if we don't get to your question or comment, we are Savior Word of Yah, Tabernacles of the Congregation of Israel. Shouts out to the ministry that we had Pesach with yesterday. Brother Daweed and his family who came down from Israel, fleeing the persecution that's going on down there, to come keep Pesach. And Elder Zahar was able to go out and family and represent Savior to show our brothers and sisters, man, we not happy about what day you keep Pesach. We happy you keeping it. Furthermore, Pesach, the only holy day, they said it, man, if you don't do it right on the first month, keep it the second month. So this would be literally the second month. Ain't nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's just if you're trying to do things in spirit and truth to the best of your ability, man, we all trying to figure this out. This stuff was purposely left fragmented for us so that we have to fight to get this, because when it was given to us, we treated it like it was a comic book, like it was nothing, like it was a joke, so we can be cool with the other nations. So we, if you're keeping your Pesach, your first fruits, you're keeping your unleavened bread, whatever you're doing, man, if you're keeping that, praise y'all, you could have been keeping Easter. You could have been keeping Christmas. You could be in a couple of days, Cinco de Mayo, but you can't even speak Spanish. Meanwhile, Cinco de Mayo, they talking about their freedom. The slave trade started in Portugal, Spain, where they took us and made us slaves. So we celebrate everything other than the things that's pertaining to us. Wow. TikTok just got banned? Let me look. Brothers and sisters, let's confirm that. I'm going to look real quick myself and see if it is down, because they were voting on TikTok, banning TikTok. And let me tell you how this government does it. They do it by sliding it in other bills. Let's see. I was looking at it earlier. Let me go ahead and share my screen. So they did the new TikTok ban bill. So it just passed. So we'll pull up an article. Thank you, sis, for that current affair. That's something we've been talking about. We knew they were going to do that. And they're doing that because, man, these youngsters is killing them on TikTok, because it ain't really us. We're a little older. I'm 45. So, I ain't on no TikTok like that, trying to do dances and all that foolishness. But, the young generation on there, and they on it, man. They blowing up all the false narratives they doing, and showing all the facts, and showing the moon and the stars and all the weird stuff that's going on, and all the lies, and they busting a hole in NASA, the flat earth. They killing them right now. But yet you can come on Facebook and show a woman getting raped, a man getting shot to death. Oh, you can watch people getting beat up, white people calling black people niggas. We can watch that all day long on all these other platforms, but TikTok, that's the danger. Right. All right, so let's share this screen. So this is NBC News. Oh, let's go to CBS. 6 hours. All right, so this NBC News. And Toda, Brother Yafi, man, I appreciate the encouragement. It gets harder and harder. Not me, everybody, all of us, for us to do these classes, not just technologically. It's just spirits, man. I mean, our families, man, all of us that are doing this works, man. We being attacked and our families being attacked. And all the families that are trying to associate with us and trying to learn and help and grow and spread this, they being attacked. And they trying to destroy these families. They turning husbands against wives. They turning children. All these things that Christ talked about. Division. All of this is happening because of this word. They don't want us to work together, because when we work together, that's twice the angels. All right, so praise y'all. We appreciate y'all, hanging in there. You could be watching anything, you could be watching any other class, but you come on here and you give us purpose, an ear, and you give us feedback. So we appreciate y'all. All right. So this NBC News is about 6 hours ago. Congress is finally set to approve a TikTok ban, but it could still be years before it takes effect. So this is what they're saying. All right. So now it's passed in certain, I think it passed in the House, and then it got to go to the Senate, and then they got to go to the president, or whatever. So, it's a process that it got to go through, but this is what they're doing. It says TikTok's fate is in the U.S. has never been more in doubt after the House representatives approved a bill last week that gives its parent company two options: to sell to an improved buyer or see it banned. I tell you what, you want to sell it to me. I give you every dollar I had and give it to me. I'm an American citizen. Then see what you're going to do. All right. Experts say the bill is now likely to be approved in the Senate, and President Joe Biden has signaled that he would sign it. Of course, he's going to sign it. And they talking about the reason they doing it is because the Chinese company is storing personal information. So what you doing? You doing the same thing. You're not telling us. You telling us in a 15-page a summary, a disclaimer that, oh, by the way, we even keeping your images, your voice, everything. But we supposed to trust y'all. But it could take years for TikTok ban to actually go in effect, since its Chinese-owned parent company, ByteDance, is likely to challenge the statute in court. And even if it survives a legal challenge, no one is quite sure what would happen next. It says, how soon could a potential ban take effect? It will probably be several years from now. According to the statute's language, ByteDance would have 9 months to divest and find an American buyer for TikTok once the bill is signed into law. So they still got to sign it into law. So it passed the House. It's got to go to the Senate. So they got to get 2/3 in the House, 2/3 in the Senate. Then, unless Joe Biden vetoes it, which he's not going to do it, then it becomes a law. So it got to go through all that process. Then it comes a law. Then they got to have 9 months to sell. Then, if they don't sell, then they got to go to court. So, it's something that's going to take a little bit of time. So what does that tell me? Get on TikTok. Keep your personal information. Don't watch what you share, but continue learning and sharing. And, don't just take anything that somebody put it on the internet and believe it, but take it. Take whatever sources they're giving you and research. Just like sis say, hey, look, they banned TikTok. So here we just saw, yeah, they voted to ban it in the House, so we can look it up and we can see the fact. Yeah, they banned it. Now I got to go to the Senate. Then the Senate got to ban it. Just like that from the sea to the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. That saying, they made that anti-Semitic. That's a process. So praise y'all, sis, for bringing that up. So we looked at. So is the site actually down right now? Can anybody confirm that? Let's take a look. Maybe it got hacked. Who knows? All right, so I'm clicking on the site. Okay, it looks like it's still up. But you know how they do. They'll go ahead and cyber attack it like they did Fulton County here. But anyway, so that's all we're going to do today. Again, we are Savior Word of YAH, Tabernacles of the Congregation of Israel. If we did not get to your question or comment on one of the other platforms, you can always reach out to us on our website at saviorwordofyah.org. You can go to the contact us section, and you can send us a private message, or you can go to email us at saviorwordatl@gmail.com. You can also um, reach out to us on, and our Facebook page, any one of our platforms. We'll do the best we can to respond to you. And okay, so it says the House and the Senate passed it. Wow, so it just passed in the House and the Senate. Praise Yah. So it's going to the president's desk to be signed. So he's gonna sign it. So it's a countdown. So it's only so much time that they're gonna allow us to continue speaking the truth. If you haven't visited our other site, we're on Rumble. We're streaming live on Rumble. Rumble is getting a lot of views over there. And it's not being accosted. They ain't touching it. They letting this go. So praise Yah. Yah's will. We will see you for Shabbat at 2 p.m. If you have gained anything, and again, I hate, if anybody know, I absolutely hate coming on here and asking for money. But we're trying to get this site together. There's an expense involved, for when they shut down all these sites. We're trying to have our application in place, and it's like $150 a month. And it's just a few of us that are paying for everything right now. All the websites, all the streaming, all the storage space, all the domain names, all the emails, all everything. We got to pay for everything, even to pay for our businesses, our business license. We're paying for it all out of pocket. We don't have a large ministry, and we don't ask for money. We don't ask for nobody. And the reason we don't ask is because, man, I know we can't afford it. How y'all can afford it? Y'all struggling the same way as we are. But we need y'all help, man. And it's really, I ain't gonna lie, it's pride. I don't like asking people for money. I suffer rather than ask. But at the end of the day, I can't let the ministry suffer. So if it's in your heart to help support this ministry, donate. Go to our website, saveyourwordofyah.org, hit the donate button. Donate 5, 10, 20, $1, it don't matter. Donate. If you can go to the Cash App, our Cash App is #SWORD ATL. That's #SWORD ATL. And donate what you can. If you donate on our website, it goes straight into our account. If you use the Cash App, it goes into our Cash App account. So if it's in your heart, if you've learned anything from our over 600-700 classes, and the Most High has put you in a position where you have disposable income, or you have the faith to give money, go ahead and do so. We appreciate it. So that's all we're going to do today. Yah's will, we'll see you for Bible study on Shabbat, and Yah be with you in your house. Shalom.